Studios. In this video, we will be going by helicopter and we will be travelling over Queenstown, New Zealand. It was quite an amazing experience. That's me. And I think it was my first helicopter ride. I'm not sure if I'd been on one before, but this is the biggest one. We were taking off. It was very loud. That's why I haven't included any of the sound from that flight, because it was just so loud. Having those blades just a few meters from you is kind of scary, and being a tall person, I had to be careful not to walk right into them as the helicopter was waiting for us. I absolutely love Queenstown. I'm so honoured to have gone there during the winter time, and it was one of the greatest times of my life so far. It's just such a peaceful place, and I highly recommend it if you ever go to New Zealand. So that hill that you see there, it's called Deer Park Heights, and it was used in the Two Towers for the Lord of the Rings film. Mainly because you get the Remarkables in the background. That's that large mountain range that we're travelling towards. I love photography like this, especially after seeing The Dark Knight Rises and seeing that opening shot of when they hijack that plane and they're flying over Scotland. It's kind of similar to that, and I was trying to get shots like that. Being in a helicopter is just an amazing experience. You get to travel so fast and close to the ground, unlike, being in a plane. And as you can see, that's why they call New Zealand the land of the long white cloud. It's because there's just cloud that stretches on over the mountains. And New Zealand is actually a very thin stretch of land, so they get lots of cloud and weather from the ocean. It's a very small gap between oceans. That's why their weather is very unpredictable. And so these are the Remarkables. They were used quite extensively in the Lord of the Rings films. And as you can see, in winter they have a lot of snow covering the peaks, and they actually have a lot of skiing on some of the mountain, on some sides of the mountain, and you can see it from the town of Queenstown, which is located just below. As you can probably point out in that valley, that's where it is. That's the main town. So we finally landed. It didn't take us very long to get there, but that's, as you can see, the helicopter. And now we are walking along the peaks of the Remarkables. We only had a very short amount of time up there, so I wanted to make the most of it. And this was a day after my journey up the mountain. Another mountain, if you can watch one of my other videos that goes, I take the camera up the mountain, and you can see how it was like walking up a mountain covered in snow. But this was way higher than that mountain, and the scenes, the view from up here was absolutely breathtaking. You can see that body of water down there. It's called Lake Wakatipu, and this stretch of mountains is called the Southern Alps, and it stretches right down to the southern tip of New Zealand. If you haven't been in snow, I mean, you would think that it's very cold, but in actual fact, when you're walking around and stuff like that, and you're constantly on the move, it's not that cold. The weather, the wind is a bit bitter, but otherwise it's not too bad. And this was the first time that I had actually seen snow, so it was kind of a shock to me, but I didn't know what to expect. I thought I would be freezing to death, but it's not that bad, as I was walking around quite a bit. So we look over to the mountains, and the snow is in patches, and it's all over the place pretty much. And the clouds, you're practically walking in the clouds. And I think it's time to head back to the helicopter, but I wanted to take as much footage as I could. It's weird. It's a weird feeling being up that high. Getting up there so quickly. It only took around, well, you saw on the video, there's no cuts or anything, it's just one continuous thing. It only took like 3 minutes to get up there. And I was so glad that the weather was perfect. It wasn't raining or anything like that. So we're starting up again, and that is looking out the window at the Southern Alps. And it was heading towards the end of the day. The sun was going down early because it was winter and the days are very short. So if I ever went back, I would want to travel by scenic flight again. It's just so amazing looking at what's on offer and the landscape, because it's not the same being in a plane, a large commercial airliner. With these scenic flights you get to go close down and you can weave through the mountains, and over lakes and stuff like that. The only downside is that the weather has to be kind of perfect pretty much, because they rely on their sight. They don't have controls, very detailed controls to predict the weather patterns, and so they need to rely on their sight to fly. And it can be very dangerous. The wind has to be right. The wind can't be too powerful or anything like that. And it was something that I think I'll have to go back and do again. In terms of being a relaxing video, imagine yourself as a bird or an eagle flying over this land. Could you imagine what it would be like being so high up? I've never jumped out of a plane, but that would be another amazing experience. It'd be quite scary, but something I guess you have to try. There's something funny that I know that someone who, the first time they went up in a plane, they jumped out. Like, imagine, like, people are scared going on planes, but being the first time on a plane ride and you jump out, that's I mean, I joke about him hating it so much that he had to escape. And we're coming towards the end of the video, so I want to kind of wind down. We're coming down, just as I think you should, as you're relaxing. Just take in all of the snow and the land and how peaceful it looks, and just how unspoiled the land is. The great thing about these places is they're not overly populated by people, so the land is very much as it was always. And what a feeling it was, being able to fly. You really do get the sense of what it must be like for a bird, the total freedom that they have, just being able to travel wherever they want. And we're heading down. It's not too long now. So that's Queenstown. Well, that's the Remarkables there, the mountain that we were just on. I've taken many shots of this mountain, so it's appeared in other videos of mine. That's their main airport. It's very small, but that's how it should be. And I guess this is the end of the video. And I just want to say how lovely it has been flying with you. And I hope you're at peace. And this video has been very relaxing for you. So thank you for watching.